Hey, what is up, everybody? Michael Crump here, and I just got the Aliexpress kit in the mail that is to jailbreak a PlayStation 4 on 11.0 using PPPwn. So here is the little manual. If you watch some of the previous videos that we kind of looked at, basically this kind of just gives you some of the instructions on how you would set it up, your internet connection for PPPoE. And then on the back of this right here, there's just some of the continued instructions. So there it goes to step number 11, where it ended on step number 9. So you also get in here the device itself. Now it says right here, it says this is for PlayStation 4 11.0, just an Ethernet. So it will be interesting to see what is inside of this case here. Looks like right there is a USB-C port. So you will need to plug this cable in, the USB-C, into that in order to give it power. And then you would need to use the Ethernet cable, obviously, to plug into the Ethernet jack here, and then on the Ethernet jack on your PlayStation 4. And then here is the USB drive that it came with. I think this should already have goldhen.bin on it, so we'll definitely check that out in just a moment. But anyway, so here is everything that you get with the version 1 kit. Let's go check it out.
Okay, so what I just did was I plugged the USB drive into my computer, and the first thing that you probably want to know is that if you look at the properties for that drive, it is setting there right at 1 terabyte is what looks like that you get with this. It's already formatted as exFAT, and it is only taking a tiny bit of space. So I guess the bare minimum drive that they could find was, basically this one right here. Now, looking at the content, it is just the goldhen.bin file. And if we take that and we go ahead and pop that up into properties, we can see which version they included. Now, again, right here is the one that is on the USB drive, and it basically matches the very first version that came out right here, which is just Goldhen 2.4b17. So not the newer one, which was the 2.4b17.2, which is at 296. We can see that the regular 2.4b17 was setting right here at 296.112, which is exactly the file size of this one right here. So definitely the file that they put on the system is going to be the earlier version or the first version of Goldhen 2.4 beta 17. And this is obviously easy enough just to go and download it directly from Sistro's site in order to get the new one on there. Now, obviously, if you do update to the latest Goldhen, then you will get support for these firmware versions. So you will get support for 5.05, 6.71, 6.72, 9.00, 10.00, and 10.01, as well as 11.0. So you could use this same device for really any of these firmwares that's supported right now by Goldhen. Let's just go ahead trying this now on our PlayStation 4 as is. So again, my PlayStation 4 is completely turned off right now, so I'm just going to turn it on and we'll go from there. Okay, so this right here is the very first boot of this PlayStation 4. I basically just plugged everything in and I have done nothing else to the system. So I'm just going to basically let it sit here and let's just see, without doing anything, if we do get a jailbreak. And there we go. It is PPPwn. So interesting. It had a little bit different message there. Okay, so there we go. We have got Goldhen now loaded up. All right, so I did absolutely nothing but just kind of connected that up. And I am now running Goldhen. So let's just go over here to settings here. And let's go to system and then system information. And I'm on Goldhen. So right off the bat, that is pretty amazing stuff, especially if you don't want to do any of the setup yourself. Let's switch over to the PC and talk a bit about it. Okay, so the breakdown of the board, I was able to get the cover back off of it. And well, taking a look at this board, there's a bunch of kind of interesting things. And I'm just going to say right off the bat, it doesn't match any of the publicly available designs that at least I've seen, talking about the LuxFox Pico. So none of these boards match completely. Now, the one thing that does match is typically the actual chip. So you can see it kind of in this image right here. There is a chip. And if I take that and I look back over here, this kind of rock chip looks like it was the same one that was in the image there. But here is what it looks like. It's by this company called Henrun. And I did look them up, and they're known for Ethernet. Obviously, one of you who knows this a lot better than I can go ahead and double check and verify which device this actually is. Is this a custom device? I'm not sure of it. Now, there's a few more images to talk about here. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so here is the image. And really, if you want to take this apart, it's pretty simple. You just, put it face down, and then at the very bottom right here is where the Ethernet port was, and then right here is where the USB-C was. If you basically just pry on this bottom board right here, you'll see there's several pins that you've got to pop in order to undo it. But it was a very easy process to get inside of this device. Now, here is what the Ethernet port looked like. Again, nothing really special here to call out. Now, here is the underside of the board, and I did notice that there is this kind of little button down here. There is what it looks like for those of you that are looking at the schematics. And I've got one more image here, and the last image here just shows that this is a USB-C. Okay, so kind of going back to the product page for the device here, it does look like the price is maybe a little bit more than it was when I originally made this. I think it was around 27 bucks. I just refreshed this page today and it is at 30 bucks, so I'm not sure what's going on with the pricing there. Does it do its job? Absolutely, it does its job. Now, it has everything included with it, and if you really just don't want to tinker or do anything else except for just buy the kit and then plug it in and be done, well, then maybe this is for you. Now, if you're a bit more on the technical side, the LuxFox devices that I have been talking about, obviously you can get those for a fraction of the cost. Now, you just have to do some of the maintenance yourself on it, read through some of the instructions that people have already provided for those LuxFox devices, and then you would be in good shape too. Now, this is the version 1 of the tool. There is another version that's coming out that they also agreed to send me, and this one basically has a toggle for firmware version 9.0 and then for 11.0. So really, the decision is up to you about what you would want to do with this. Again, the LuxFox devices are very cheap, but you do have to have a little bit of technical know-how, even though there's some great tutorials already out there for it. Or you could just buy this, plug it in, and call it a day. For the most part, as long as you update goldhen.bin, which was on the USB drive, to the latest version, you should always be in great shape. The actual device itself and the method that it's using to do this isn't going to be changing very much. And if you even look at the Flows repo, it hasn't been touched in about 3 weeks right now. So anyway, I hope you found something useful out of this. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael, out.